Hey, we are live, and we don't know if you can hear us, so please tell us in the chat. I'm Danny Rocket, and
Crawly over here, back from KC, now back at Wrigley Field.
we're here. Yeah, we're here. It's kind of a humid night here. The wind is sort of wafting out to left field. Here we got John Benedict playing "Fly Me to the Moon" on the Tickling the Ivories on the brand new organ. But hey, let us know. We see that maybe a few people are watching us right now, so if you could comment as to whether these are working. Like right now,
Can you hear us?
Can you hear us? If I tap on this, is that the microphone that we are using? Because
Oops.
so anyway,
Yeah.
just let us know if you can hear us.
It was a hot one out here today, I'll tell you what. I got here bright and early to get the Ian Hat bobblehead. And
Show the people the bobblehead. We're here.
all right, we're here early.
That's why we're here.
This is the Ian Hat bobblehead. If you can see right up, Eddie Cologne. My buddy, Eddie Cologne, Riker, Aramis, Brandy Cologne.
Eddie.
Guys, this is the Ian Hat bobblehead. If you look in there, you can see it has different arms. So he could like be drinking coffee, he could be golfing. He has his glove right in there. So a little bit different, but
Does he come with a? Will you trade that to me, or does the bobblehead come with a no trade clause too?
no trade clause. Now, what ends up happening here, though, is that it was so hot earlier, people were passing out. And you hate to see it. It was so crowded. People are passing out. Cubby Knowles says, can't hear you. Change the dial via your nips. I think it's sarcastic. Okay. All right, goddamn it. We're
Tune
trying
in
to get this
Tokyo.
going. But, boy, that Cincinnati series, that sucked.
Well, they managed to win one game. They put up 13 runs last night against, but you know, that's rare. First of all, I think that was the most runs they scored in any game all year.
Most hits, tied a franchise record for doubles, all of that, but that doesn't, so we're at the point now that you can't keep losing series. And not only that, you have to go on a run. You have to do something where you win
20
6
in a row,
You
yeah.
know, 20 doesn't have to be ridiculous, but
25, you're right.
25.
30.
If you go and you sit there and you say, okay, we got to take 7 of 9. Like, those are the things you got to do at this point to try to make up ground. We are that, I mean, you're talking like 6 games back on the wild card.
Yeah,
So-
and then a lot of teams to climb over, none of whom who have
You see
the.
that right there? Please be aware there is an approved drone flying around the exterior of Wrigley Field during tonight's game.
Nice. I wish I had a BB gun to shoot that fucker down. But you know, you absolutely have to go on a huge run now because you don't own the tiebreaker of any
Against
of the
anyone.
teams. Yeah, against anyone, including the Reds, by the way, who have had our number all year long. The Cardinals, right now, you have to sweep the Cardinals in order to take the season series. This is the last series against the Cardinals. So, and we've lost 6 games against them. We're 3-6, I believe.
Just awful. You know, the funny thing is that the Cubs are killing interleague play, and they can't beat anyone in the NL Central.
But if we can get to the World Series somehow,
We're gonna win.
Probably gonna win. Yeah.
Kansas City Royals, no problem. Cincinnati, oh, hey, no, too much. They're too good for us.
And then, you know, of course, you got the Brewers leading the division, and the Cubs, like, they added at the deadline. I mean, if you want to call it adding, but they also lost Mark Leiter Jr. in the process. They also lost Hunter Biggie in the process. You know, like, so they added, but they also subtracted from the roster. You gained Isaac Paredes, but you lost Morel, so who went on to hit 2 home runs. It would have been nice to have a little bit of that power. He probably hit another one today, didn't he?
Nah,
He hit 2.
Again, I don't. When you look at the moves, I guess if you look at them,
a little better.
they got a little bit better in my opinion. A little bit. Wasn't
not
anything
enough,
big.
you know, I mean, yeah, not a big deal.
You know,
Nobody did shit, really.
the idea, well, and this is what we talked about years ago on the Sun Rancho show, and we used to talk that if you expand the playoffs, you're going to get this big mess, and all these teams are going to fool themselves going, oh, we could be Arizona and go on a run, which is really not the norm. Usually the best teams are going to make it. Last year, Arizona did go on one of those type of runs, and so that tells every team, every owner.
There's always going to be one team
Right,
that can do it. Yeah.
right. And it's that could be us.
Not us, yeah.
So we don't have to, we don't want to give anything away. And, you know, I was really shocked that they had Jameson Tyone make that start on Monday instead of Tuesday.
That was one of the dumbest shits I've ever seen in my life.
I mean,
Oh my God, that was stupid.
you know, see
It was
what,
dumb.
You basically killed his trade value, and nothing good could have come out of it.
Joey says, when will we ever be good again? Our division is terrible, and we are
At the bottom.
Yeah, and that's what's shocking about it. It's like, it's not that we're like middling around third place at 500. It's like we're distinctively below 500, and in last place behind teams like the Reds and the Pirates, and even the Cardinals.
So honestly, dude, we were previewing this for the Fly the W podcast. I was looking at all the numbers, average, slug, runners in scoring position, starting pitcher ERA, bullpen ERA, and you would be surprised at how close the Cubs and Cardinals are in every category.
Yeah.
Yet the Cardinals are way ahead of the Cubs.
And they've actually scored. I think I saw 44 fewer runs than they gave up. And so they're pathetic. They're like they should be where the Cubs are. But the Cubs lost so many one-run games, and those are kind of toss-ups. So at that point, you just.
And that's what you were hoping Craig Counsell was going to bring to the table, is the ability to somehow buck those Pythagorean theorems that come out the Dakota ratings. It was always Milwaukee that was kind of throwing a monkey wrench into that. But Danny, I'm excited that we get to be at this game tonight, man, because we have a stellar pitching matchup going on tonight.
Yeah, no, it's going to be awesome, man. Imanaga on the mound, love watching him go. And Sonny Gray for the Cardinals, been around a long time. It's always been rumored to be maybe a Cubs target, but never made it over to our team. But yeah, I mean, this is probably the matchup, unless you want to call, what is it, Michael the Steele, I think is happening.
Sunday.
Sunday? Is that?
Yeah, you got that Sunday. I know Assad's got to start in there. Who am I forgetting? I got someone else. Tyone.
Well, and the tough thing is, too, it's like you have to sweep the series to take. Yeah, I don't know if the Cubs. When's the last time they swept the Cardinals in Wrigley?
In a 4-game series.
In a 4-game series, yeah.
You know, I hate to be a Michael Cotton conspiracy theory, because I know Michael goes on these conspiracy theories, but do you believe that the White Sox purposely handed that trade to screw with the Cubs?
I know.
Because
we're going to see Eric Fetty.
We're going to see Eric Fetty, who basically has been one of the biggest surprises this year, and basically the Cardinals got him for a bag of balls. They literally traded a guy who hasn't played and probably won't play all year, named Tommy Edman.
Yeah, and they got rid of him, and then the other.
And an 18-year-old Dominican.
Yeah, the other trade they made was Dylan Carlson or something, and they. I think the Cardinals trade, who wasn't very good this year.
No, but that trade to get Eric Fetty and Tommy Pham, who's still a good platoon player. I mean,
he came in to hit a grand slam his first at bat. Did you hear about that? Pham came in and hit a grand slam and won the game like immediately. He put up 1 million runs yesterday.
I know for a fact they were talking. The Twins made a better offer for Fetty, and the Cardinals the White Sox were like, no, we don't want to get better. We're happy being one of the worst teams in the history of baseball.
They're very jealous of us. They want a nice ballpark like we have. Look at this place. It's incredible.
It is a beauty. You can't ask for a
show the people the place. Show them without screwing up everything.
Probably not. Let's see.
We're going to try not to screw up everything. We're back.
I blame Danny for that. That's why we're not doing it.
We never should have done it. We'll make sure the settings are still good too. Yep, we are.
Yep, we're good. All right. Yeah, it is beautiful. Take our word for it. We just don't want to get dinged.
You've seen it on TV.
Do we think that the Cardinals are inherently evil? Yeah. I mean, last year was an anomaly. This year, once again, they're right in the thick of everything.
Look at the evidence. The Devil wears red. Cardinals wear red. Missouri smells like sulfur. Devil lives in a place that smells like sulfur. That's 2 for 2.
Both of them are kind of boring, aren't they?
Yeah. Hell's it seems a little tedious.
Yeah,
think about you're like have a Sisyphean sort of journey, where you got to pull the rock up the hill, watch it down. He's not in hell though, is he? He's just is he?
Nah, that's more Hades.
Yeah, that's Hades.
More Hades than hell.
Hades has a nice river at least.
Yeah, a little river, little scenic thing.
They got a lead singer and sings high too.
Yeah.
In the river.
Yeah, Sticks.
I'm sailing away.
Have you ever heard John Benedict play that?
Yeah, I think so.
He's so good.
He sings it too.
He sings it and plays it. It's phenomenal. But we sit here and again, we're here. I know some people are excited about the Bears game, and other people are Lala's going on at the same time, but we're still here. You know, I just got back from Kansas City, and that was just absolutely, boy, Danny, that was my first time, and I cannot encourage people when they go back in not 25 but 26. That was an amazing ballpark, an amazing town. Brian McCray hooked us up really good. We got to hang out with Bob Kendrick, so it's the first time I met Bob in person.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, we got to hang out with him a little bit, and God, you know, Danny and I were talking before we came here. The museum, like, how does like a team like the Royals that came in, like, I'm just gonna say 1969 for the sake of the podcast.
Nice.
But you know, I was just stunned at how amazing. And not only that, they covered the Royals. I forget where they were. The Athletics, Kansas City Athletics. They covered the Monarchs. Like, that's what a museum should be.
Yeah.
The history of baseball in your town.
And meanwhile, we have one of the most historic teams, and most of the baseball memorabilia is at like Tom Warman's house in your house.
And we have little placards under the bleachers that no one goes to.
Yeah, that nobody even knows where they are. It's not, you know, and here comes the Imanaga's walking out right now.
There's Shota.
And it looks like Amaya's going to catch him. That's Amaya,
The
right?
crowd is giving it Shota Imanaga.
Our sole all-star, just like Isaac Paredes was the Tampa Bay Rays sole all-star. Just like Ron Coomer was a former all-star for the Minnesota
Who was
Twins.
that first baseman? Someone help me out. Brian
LaHair.
LaHair.
Brian LaHair.
Brian LaHair. That, you know, you can literally say your whole life you're an all-star.
We got Bleacher Jeff out here. He's waving to Amaya. Amaya just threw a ball in the crowd. Looking at the Cubs batting leaders, they're showing some stuff. At average, Bellinger, and Slug was Bush.
Yeah, when you talk about Bellinger, they had the stat on here the other day. He actually has the highest OBP of any player in the big leagues in July. Like, the guy is Mr. July.
Yeah. Bellinger does?
Yeah.
Well, he was injured.
His
in
OPS,
July.
just in the career-wise.
Oh, in July.
His
He was
career
injured all
OPS.
this July.
All July.
He just got back. It's August 1st.
I'm telling you what the guy does. The guy hits in July. Now he just needs to be healthy in July.
This is awesome. Agreed.
Artie Boucher. Yeah.
This really should be like a regular show. We just sit in Crawly land. I feel like you and I, especially as we age into this, that we could easily be like the grumpy old dudes from the Muppets.
Oh yeah, someone put that Stanley Waldorf in something, whatever. Our friend Rich Biesterfeld, two guys yelling at the clouds. That could be the name. Honestly, earlier we could use the clouds. I came earlier and I went to the Cubs store, and I don't know if you guys saw this, I put it on Twitter. You can buy a Cubs authentic jersey with a Motorola patch. My God, is that thing ugly and huge. And I don't know, maybe I am an old man yelling at the clouds. People are like, it's not a big deal. Yeah, it is, man. I remember, like I said, years ago, they sat there, and the first two doors that they had, the bullpen doors now, they weren't even the bullpen doors back then, they put the Under Armour signs.
Yeah.
And they said, we're just going to do this. That's it. Only this. Now you take a look around Wrigley, you can see the signs there, signs there.
Trade,
all against the
Ranger,
brown.
Budweiser, DraftKings, Sloan.
All against the brown cushioning over there, against the brick over there. And then I saw it a couple times in the last few years where they would even have it up the foul line where it said Gallagher Insurance. Right? Now I remember clearly. Now we didn't know how great 2015, but when Clark came out, they told us, if you remember this, Clark wasn't to be seen.
Yeah,
there was a little room for him.
Yeah,
There was a room.
Clubhouse.
Clark's clubhouse. You weren't going to see him around. He wasn't going to be on the field.
He's around all the time now,
Guys,
showing his ass.
I'm just telling you, give him an inch, they'll take a yard, man. And mark my words, this is not going to be the last of the patches on a Cubs uniform.
Yeah.
One day they're going to have a Vienna beef on the hat. Something. It's going to be something, man. Maybe it's not a big deal to some people, but to me, it's just one little thing I want. Leave the uniform alone.
Yeah, and also I think it's a mistake. Like, if you buy one of those uniforms that have that Motorola on it, I think you're a joke. Like, you're like one of those guys that wears like a Gap t-shirt that says Gap. You know what I mean? It's like, dude, first of all, the Gap like just signals to everybody that you're a khaki wearing joke, right? I mean, don't worry, I shop at the Gap too. I need to be a khaki wearing joke from time to time. But you don't wear a shirt that says, like, remember Esprit when we were in junior high?
Oh, Esprit.
All the girls had Esprit. And I'm like, and I eat Jordache. Remember Jordache was a big one?
I'll even go one up on you. Who here in the chat can remember Z Cavaricci's?
Oh, there you
where
go.
they actually had the name on the fly.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Hey, go down and take a look to see if these are brand names. But that's the thing. If you're a label whore, that's one thing. And but are you a labor whore for seriously a company that has not put out a relevant phone since the Razor in like 2003? Like, it's been 20 years since Motorola was even a freaking thing. It's just ridiculous.
It's the equivalent of getting like a Sony Discman patch.
Yeah, exactly.
Who remembers the Sony Discman?
Exactly. What's next? Betamax up on the side of the hat. Beta.
No, I just, I get it. It's got Cubs colors, I mean, and actually the colors look better in person than it did when they were showing it. But
it's a different blue.
It's
than
not the
blue.
Royal
It's
Cubby
not the-
blue.
Yeah. So and you can use that darker blue on the Wrigley Bill.
Now, Dubs is on here, but Motorola is a Chicago-based company.
Yeah, it is.
Chicago
I know people that
and
work for them.
yeah. My friends used to work there. I had a neighbor that worked there. It really is, but it's not what Dubs is talking about, like an authentic when you think of certain things like Garrett's Popcorn or Portillo's.
Old style. Well, that's
Old
more like
style.
Milwaukee, but, Portillo's Chicago-based. McDonald's even would be more of a Chicago-based company than Motorola in a way. Even though they're not.
But here's the thing, Danny. I knew this, and I knew this when Jesket's contract was up, and they went to the Nike AK Fanatics. They were selling those jerseys for half off, 50% off, and so I bought a bunch of jerseys because I knew the Nike ones with the swish were going to be shit.
Yeah.
And so I bought a bunch of them, and you could get them for half price. In fact, I think they had them for like 60% off, like when they were within that last month. So I bought a bunch of jerseys back then. Joey W says, sorry guys, I gotta go. I'm getting a page for my Motorola page.
Exactly. Only people that got pagers now are doctors and drug dealers.
Which is how it started originally. You know?
They call Page Tony, I need some weed.
You remember you used to have to tell the pay phones at your school?
Oh yeah. Well, you would call collect and be like, come pick me up. Hang up, Hi, this is the collect call from. I'm ready. Pick me up. Don't accept the charges.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, that was always
Kids will never know.
that was always the smart play. But I mean, I'm excited. That it is Cubs Cardinals tonight. And then what's the next series? Cubs Twinkies.
Yeah, that's who's next after that. The Twins are coming to town. If you don't, if you guys follow me, remember the Twins are the team that we were playing when I yelled at Ricketts and said, "We're losing to the Twins, my man." So maybe I can recreate
Right in
that
the corner.
right in the corner there. Yeah. So
Because that's where he walks out when he leaves.
hopefully I don't have to use that drop this weekend, but I have a feeling I might have to. I mean, what are you looking like? As long as we're doing a pregame show, we should probably charge the phones. We should say that we're gonna actually try to call as much of the games as we can. We should probably get as much charge as we can into our microphones before the game starts. But what are you looking for the rest of the season? We haven't even talked about this. Now that it's over.
So here's the tricky part. And in the latest 5W, we had Bruce Levine, Odyssey and Score Insider, talking about the trade deadline. And one of the things we talked about is, where can you trade? And go around the diamond.
They painted themselves into a
Right, and that's what Bruce talked about, is that they gave too many player-friendly contracts. So you would have full no trade, Seiya Suzuki, full no trade, Jameson Taillon, 10 team no trade. Like,
4 years. And plus, you got Bellinger who wouldn't opt out, who won't opt out. It doesn't look a problem. Yeah, all around the diamond. And then Bush, who played his way out of the team. Isaac Paredes, the upgrade, now he's stuck. The only one you could maybe see doing is Amaya, but then you're giving up on Amaya.
You got to do something at catcher, because catcher's been a disaster this year. Not saying it's done, but he may not be ready for prime time. But the biggest problem is where are you going to get the pop from? Because you mentioned Ballesteros, that would be an internal DH candidate. Do you want to get a guy like Vladimir Guerrero Jr.? I mean, I just
And
don't.
you're eating up that spot, unless you can play some first field play for
It just feels like they're going to run back to the same team next year. I don't see how it can be that much different.
And then the thing about, I don't want to relitigate the Morel trade, for the rest of my life, even though I feel like doing that. But if they could have developed him in some way with the skills that he had, the serious power skills that he had, and it seemed like he was on the way to being developed because his eye was getting a lot better, and then it was like they just gave up. And I know the third baseman wasn't good, but they just gave up on all that thing. It was gung ho, like, actually, we're just going to go with the Ian Happ of third base. That's what it feels like, Yeah. Paredes is the Ian Happ of third base,
And again, the big problem we're going to have next year is where's the pop going to come from? And that's where Cody Bellinger has been the biggest disappointment. There is no one when you go down the lineup that you go, oh, be careful, this guy. This guy's coming up next in the order. Don't walk this guy because this guy's coming. That guy doesn't exist. I don't feel like there's a guy that any pitcher, at least top 3 in a rotation, would really be frightened of. You know what I mean? Like it's not like an Aaron Judge or a Juan Soto or a Manny Machado that when you sit there and you got 2 guys on and you make a mistake to one of those guys. That player doesn't exist on the Cubs. Maybe it's Sarah Suzuki, maybe you have on a given day. There's nobody consistently that you are frightened of that you say, don't let X.
Like Barry Bonds, where they're going to walk you with the bases loaded because they'd rather just give up the 1 run than the grand slam.
Right. That guy doesn't exist on the Cubs. I feel like.
Speaking of Clark not being on the field, he's currently on the field.
Take a BP.
He's got his handler throwing baseballs and he's like the Clark antics.
Actually, it looks like he's swinging a little bit better than Miles Mastrobuoni.
No, Mastrobuoni's down in the minors,
Iowa?
so he's probably hitting 403 dogs already. That's the Iowa Cubs. So yeah, Cubs Cardinals. I would say the stadium is only about 10% full right now. Still a half hour before game time. And, so we should probably, glad you can hear us. It sounds like our microphones work. We're going to come back when the game starts so you can turn off Brew because, let's face it, we're going to be better than him and we might actually tell you what's happening in the game and what's happening with the Cubs. Unlike the Chicago Cubs broadcast, we will not have any split screens, just Crawly getting drunk. And the people behind us pounding beer mats. So, we'll see. Maybe our charger lasts the entire time. Maybe it doesn't. We'll see. But we'll be back at game time.
7:05.
7:05.
Go Cubs!
Go Cubs, y'all. I think that worked.